So, okay, dear children, once again, very good morning to you all. And here we will be beginning with beta the topics, new topics with us, beta. Furthermore, beta, as per our new discussion, we will begin with the laws of radioactive disintegration. Beta. So we have laws of radioactive disintegration. Beta. हाँ जी बेटे. Okay. So before the laws of radioactive disintegration, as suggested by you people, we will be focusing for a minute on gamma ray emission. Last time we were talking about alpha and beta emission. Regarding alpha and beta emission, there after alpha or beta emission, the daughter nucleus, the new nucleus so formed after alpha or beta emission, that is always in the excited state. And that excited state releases its extra energy in the form of gamma rays and comes to the ground state. And we are to keep in mind always that every time alpha or beta decay will happen, the daughter nucleus will always be in the excited state. In scientific way, beta, or in scientific language, I just need to say that gamma emission will always be followed by alpha and beta emission. That is, once either alpha emission takes place or beta emission takes place, gamma will definitely happen. So after the both type of emissions between, imagine that this is your daughter nucleus. Y is the new nucleus formed, be called as the daughter nucleus. Let it be at YZA. And here we generally put the star. Star is indicating excited state. This extra energy available with the daughter nucleus, this will be given out in the form of gamma ray, and in this way beta such type of reaction, this is called gamma emission. So once again this is your daughter nucleus. This star indicates the excited state. Keep in mind that alpha and beta emission is always followed by gamma emission. And here, this is your daughter nucleus, and here is the outgoing particle, your gamma particle. We already have discussed the properties, beta. It is the neutral, no charge, highest penetrating power, and so and so and so. We have completed all that. So this was the point that was last time left, beta. Now let me begin with the laws of radioactive disintegration, beta. Beta, we have 4 or 5 basic laws of radioactive disintegration. The very first law, it states that when we have a heavy nucleus is obviously unstable nucleus. Heavy nucleus, it undergoes spontaneous emission of the radioactive radiations. So this is the first principle or first law, beta. It states that a heavy nucleus undergoes spontaneous emission of radioactive radiations, beta. This is the first law. Now, beti, after this start of the radioactive radiations, emission of the radioactive radiations, we must be knowing the different type of emissions. We have already discussed, rather, I will be briefly going for these. In case of alpha emission, we generally say that the parent nucleus XZA, it undergoes when alpha emission, the new nucleus formed is Y, and atomic number decreases by 2, mass number by 4, and here is your alpha particle. Basically, this is helium nucleus along with energy. So mass number and atomic number, they accordingly change. We have discussed it in detail. And thirdly, beta, in case of beta emission, how the beta emission will take place and what will be the corresponding equation. We once again have XZA. This is our parent nucleus beta, and when it undergoes beta emission or beta decay beta, the daughter nucleus formed will be having Z plus 1A. And along with this beta, we will have this beta particle, and this is antineutrino, and energy will also be given out. We have discussed this reaction in detail once again. Then fourth, it is the case of your gamma emission. In gamma emission beta, this is our XZA. When gamma particle or gamma radiation will be emitted, here you can put this star indicating the excited state. And here this is XZA, and this is the gamma particle getting emitted. Last bit, our last law is that beta, when we talk about the case of radioactive disintegration or radioactive decay, imagine that beta, initially the number of nucleons present, rather number of nuclei present, I should say. Nuclei will be present only if the atoms are present. Imagine that beta, initial number of atoms in the radioactive sample, this is equal to n naught. N naught is indicating the number of atoms present at time t is equal to 0. Now the radioactive disintegration starts with a, and after some time, some of the nuclei or the atom, these will undergo disintegration. And after time small t, number of atoms left, this is equal to say n. Now beta, we over here say that beta, our rate of disintegration, this is dn upon dt. dn is indicating the small change in the number of the nucleons or the number of your atoms or nuclei, rather, not nucleons. Number of atoms undergoing disintegration. This is the time interval in which these atoms are undergoing disintegration. Experimentally, it is investigated that this rate of disintegration, this is directly dependent upon the number of atoms left undecayed. So decay, after the decay starts, this was the initial number of atoms. These are the number of atoms undecayed. The rate of disintegration will depend upon the number of atoms present in the sample, which are just to decay, which are still present in the sample beta. So these are the different laws of our radioactive disintegration beta. Now let us go into the analytical or mathematical details regarding this initial number of atoms, final number of atoms, radioactive disintegration, and all that. So let me take you to this discussion, beta. We have further radioactive disintegration. Radioactive disintegration. As we did just now, we have discussed this particular law that number of atoms undecayed, these will decide the rate of radioactive disintegration. Sample is present with us. The nuclei are undergoing decay. The rate of decay, that is dN by dt, it is directly dependent upon the number of atoms present in the sample which are just now available for decaying. That is N as such. Now what we can further do is that beta, we can these terms can be rearranged. We can say that dN upon N, this is directly dependent upon beta dt. This proportionality sign can be eliminated. So we will say that dN upon N, this is equal to minus lambda into dt. This minus lambda, this is a radioactive disintegration constant. Here lambda, it is a radioactive disintegration. Radioactive disintegration constant beta. Now beta here, it can be integrated in order to get the result elaborated further beta. And let us perform this integration as such. Yes, beta. Negative sign beta, over here it has got its own importance, just indicating that the number of atoms present in the sample, they are decreasing with the passage of time. Suppose I have beta, imagine that beta as I'm having few pieces of chalk with me. These are 4. And as I'm writing on the board, these chalks are being used on the same pattern. Imagine that these are the nuclei of the radioactive sample. With the passage of time, it is disintegrated. 1 more gone, 2 left. So this negative sign beta, this just indicates the decrease in the number of atoms present in the sample beta. So let me continue with the discussion ahead. We can say that beta, by integrating this particular equation, I may call this as equation number 1. Let us beta integrate and find out what we will be having beta. So integrating equation 1, I will have integral dN upon N. This is equal to minus lambda dt beta. Dear children, initially at the time t is equal to 0, number of atoms was n naught. It was there beta. And at any instant of time, the number of present atoms in the sample, that is equal to n beta. This is the lower and this is the upper limit then. And this number of atoms present is at time t equal to 0. And this is the number of atoms present at a time t beta, any time t. So let us reshuffle the terms. dN upon n, n naught to n. This is minus lambda, constant hai. It can be managed outside the integral this way. So I will have that this is log to the base e n, limits n naught to n, and here minus lambda t 0 to t, in this manner. Let us now substitute lower as well as the upper limit in order to get the result with us. So I will have log to the base e n, upper limit being substituted, minus log to the base e n naught, lower limit, minus lambda as such on the other side. This is t minus 0. So dear students, so we will have log to the base e n upon n naught. This is equal to minus lambda t. In order to eliminate this log, we can take the anti-log. So we will have, after taking anti-log, n upon n naught is equal to e raised to power minus lambda t. Shift this denominator term to the other side. So we will have n, this is equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda t beta. So this is beta our basic formula, basic equation indicating the radioactive decay of the radioactive sample. And if we want more familiarity with these terms, n is the number of atoms left undecayed at a time t. N naught is the number of atoms present initially when the time is considered to be 0. And lambda, radioactive decay constant. T is any instant of time at which you are considering this equation beta. So let us try to know something more about this lambda, that what lambda is and how we can get the lambda calculated in some other terms beta. So in this case beta, as the radioactive decay equation is available with us, let us try to find more about radioactive decay constant, and this constant is with a lambda. Let us have this with a discussion. We have n to be equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda t beta. Consider that t is equal to 1 upon lambda. Let us just substitute this. We don't know lambda, but we can say that if we consider time to be equal to reciprocal of lambda, we will have n to be equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda into 1 upon lambda beta. Lambda, it will get cancelled, and n is equal to n naught e raised to power minus 1. And dear students, it can be further managed in the manner that n, this is equal to 1 upon e times n naught. You can again focus upon that very equation. T, it was considered to be 1 by lambda, reciprocal of lambda. Or if you want lambda, lambda can be said to be equal to 1 upon t. Radioactive decay constant lambda, it is reciprocal of the time during which the radioactive sample remains 1 upon e times its initial value as undecayed sample beta. फिर से ध्यान दीजिए बेटा, when we talk about radioactive disintegration constant lambda, we say that it is reciprocal of that time during which the sample, when it is undergoing radioactive decay, only the number of atoms present after that interval of time, it will be 1 upon e times the initial number of atoms present in the sample beta. So this is how you can define your beta lambda. Now beta, after this we are going to talk about the half-life time of radioactive sample beta. If you find any difficulty up to this point beta, you can ask them. All well, nice beta. Then dear children, let us begin with half-life time of a radioactive sample. One thing more beta, sometimes we plot the graph also. N is equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda t. This was our basic equation. We defined lambda also with the passage of time beta. If we take time on this axis, n on this axis beta, the graph, it shows exponential behavior. Or you can say that with the passage of time due to this part beta. This is indicating exponential part. So with the passage of time, the graph will be indicating with an exponential decay only. So sometimes it may be there, and we are to be extra careful regarding this all. So with it dear all, let us begin with half life of a radioactive sample or radioactive substance with it. But a half life or half lifetime, sometimes we say, it is always denoted by capital T. Capital T is the symbol reserved for the half lifetime of a radioactive sample. Now, as the name itself is indicating half life, it means that it is that much time after which the undecayed number of the nuclei or the atom present in the sample is exactly one half of its initial value. Just as an example, imagine that we in the beginning have 100 number of nuclei present in a sample, and the time after which it will remain 50. 50 will be gone, they will decay. 50 will be still present, that is, they are undecayed. So the time after which the sample it resumes or assumes its one half value as present in the beginning, that time is called the half lifetime of the radioactive sample. So let me have the scientific statement for this half-life period, and after that we will be having the derivation of the expression for this also. Let us have half-life period or half-life time, capital T, of a radioactive sample is defined as the time interval during which number of undecayed atoms present in the sample is one half of its initial value. So as we denoted it by capital T, let us now proceed with the analytical or mathematical treatment for the same. N was equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda t. It is small t when it is equal to capital T, that is half lifetime. You can put half over here, but we generally avoid. This is the symbol reserved for that. When t is equal to t half life, then n, this is equal to n naught by 2, because half of the atoms are decayed and half are left. This is the number of atoms undecayed. Now, in this equation, we can substitute for these terms. N naught upon 2, this is equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda. In place of small t, I will write capital T. So this is capital T. N naught will be getting cancelled. 1 by 2 e raised to power minus lambda t. Let us rearrange the terms. On rearranging the terms, we will have that you can take the log on both the sides, you will get that after having the reciprocal, log to the base e 2, it is equal to minus lambda t base exponential, it must be changed, and we say that 2.303 log to the base 10 2 is minus lambda t. Log 2.3010 has its value 2.303.3010. This is equal to minus lambda t. After making this calculation, it is 0.693 minus lambda t minus 0.693 upon lambda. So this is how we can go for with the half-life of a radioactive sample. Again, repeating these few steps, log 2 with the exponential base it was there. We have changed the base from e to the base 10 by multiplying by this 2.303. Log 2 is 0.3010. After multiplying, it will turn out to be this factor beta. And what we intend to calculate is capital T. Take this minus lambda to the other side, we will get this capital T calculated as such. So this is the expression for the half lifetime of a radioactive sample beta. Sometimes beta, especially in the case of the numericals, we require some other type of treatment for this half-life. Format will not change, but it is sometimes in order to have the numerical solved within a short span of time, we can have a little bit modification over here. Let us go through that also. Any point, beta? Is all well? Nice. We have it further another form half life time के लिए. In this case, we can say that beta, after one half life is completed, we can say that n, this is equal to n naught by 2. One complete half life has gone. Number of atoms left is exactly 1/2. But I can also write that this is equal to 1 by 2 times your n naught. I can manage in this manner. है ना बेटा? After 2 half lifetimes, after 2 half lives, after 2 half lives, this sample will have it 1/4. 1/4 ही रह जाएगा. I can write that n is equal to 1/2 का square in this manner. Are we justified in this way, beta? And after beta 3 half lives, n will be equal to 1/2 power 3 n naught. It will go like this. 1/8 रह जाएगा ना simple. And beta after n half lives, let us see what happens beta after small n. After small n half lives. But before we go far with this expression, small n half life, what does it mean? It means that this is the total life. This is equal to n into t. I can write in this manner. And dear children, n will be equal to small t by capital T. This is how we can calculate. N is the number of half lives. This is the total life span of the sample. We have divided it into n half lives. So n we can calculate in this way. And now over here from this expression, I can say that n is equal to 1/2 power small n into n naught beta. Or we also can have n to be equal to 1 by 2 small t by capital T into n naught. So beta, this is the equation which is going to help you a lot while having the numerical problems beta solved. So this is just another way, nothing different beta, and in this manner we can have this calculation done beta. Clear to all beta? Then after this beta, I have another important concept, that is the average half lifetime. Average life of a radioactive sample. Half life we have completed, we have discussed rather in detail. Now average life, this is another article over here. You can write down the heading, average life of a radioactive sample beta. Let us discuss this particular topic now beta. Average life. Average life of a radioactive sample Before I begin with the scientific discussion, a little bit discussion with the help of a small example. Beta, imagine at present we are sitting, you are sitting in this classroom. I am also present in this classroom. Beta, number of students present in the classroom. Suppose these are 30 benches over here. 30 is the number of students present. What we will do, we will add the age of all the students. That will be the age of total age of all the students, beta. Because I am also present with you, my age will also get added up. So we will say that in this manner, we have a total age of all the persons in this room. This is the total age. Now what I will do further is that number of students plus me, whatever number comes, we will divide that total years age by that number. That will be the average life beta. So this format we are going to follow in order to have this discussion with us. Again, beta, small example, repeating with that beta, whatever is the number of the students present in the class, their age will be added up, the age of the teacher will be added up. This is the total age of all the participants who are participating. In order to calculate the average age, we will divide the total or the total age of all the participants by the number of participants. That will be the average. So in this manner, beta, by the average life of a radioactive sample, we can say that beta, T average, this is equal to beta total age of all the radioactive atoms present in the sample divided by number of atoms with them. So this is the setup which we will be following with us. Now, beta, imagine we have radioactive decay equation n is equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda t. Let us have the derivative of this equation. We will have dn upon dt. This is equal to n naught e raised to power minus lambda t into minus lambda. It will become beta. I can shift this dt to the other side also. I will have dn. This is minus lambda n naught e raised to power minus lambda t dt beta. See this negative sign again indicating that the passage of time, number of radioactive atoms left undecayed is decreasing or decay is going on. Dear children, I can take the modulus of this. It will give me lambda m naught e raised to power minus lambda t dt beta. This is the total number of atoms left undecayed if I just take the number without any sign beta. Beta, this number, it indicates that beta, such a number of atoms present in the sample before decaying, they enjoyed the life for a time t. रिपीट कर रहा हूं, एक बार फिर से ध्यान दीजिएगा. डिसइंटीग्रेशन होने से पहले ये टी टाइम तक जिंदा रहे, कुछ इस तरीके से हम कह सकते हैं. और सिंप्लीफाई कर दूं अगर बेटे में, वी कैन से दैट बेटा dn atoms they lived for the time t before getting decayed. It will mean that beta, if the lifetime according to this equation for a single atom is t years या dt years, then the total life of dn atoms that will be beta equal to t into this beta. मैं रिपीट करता हूं बेटे, फिर से ध्यान दीजिएगा. This equation indicates that beta dn number of atoms before decaying, they lived for t years or t time. If the life of one atom is equal to small t, life of dn atoms will be this whole factor multiplied by t. ठीक है जी? So we will say that beta life of dn atoms, this is equal to t into dn. I can write beta. It will be t into dn. Now beta furthermore, this is not the total life of dn atom. This is just the life. In order to calculate total life, I will have to wait for all to get decayed. So let us have this discussion continued further. I will say that I will rather substitute life of dn atoms. This is equal to t. Magnitude is lambda n naught e raised to power minus lambda t into dt bit. If I want to calculate the total life, I will have to integrate from this n naught to n, or t from 0 to infinity. We don't know that up to which time our radioactive sample is surviving before decaying completely. So I can say that beta total life of dn atoms, it will be equal to integral t lambda n naught e raised to power minus lambda t dt. And initially we can say that n naught is the number of atoms present in the sample, n is the final number of atoms present in the sample. But because we want all the atoms to decay, we will have to write this equation in terms of t. And let me write that. I will say t lambda, sorry, and n naught. It can be taken out of the integral. I will be left t e raised to power minus lambda t dt. Dear students, once again focus. Initially, before the start of the decay, time was 0. है ना बेटा? And until the last atom is getting decayed, we say that infinite is the time taken by the last atom. Try to get this graph reminded to you. You can see this. It will match this x-axis at a time t equal to infinity. That is why I have taken that. In other words, n naught is the number of atoms at time t is equal to 0. And with n, when it will become 0, we don't know that we don't want rather that any atom should be left. We want this n to be equal to 0, because then and only then we will be able to calculate the life. So this will be 0 when t is infinite. I am changing the limits accordingly. Now we are just to perform the integration. We will get the life of these n atoms now. Here it was dn. Now we have changed n naught to 0. So this will be the life of your n atoms now. It will not be of dn. dn atoms, they enjoyed the life dn into t. Now, as you are having all the atoms involved, so it will be the life of all the n atoms. So let us again solve this with it. We will have lambda n naught out of the integral as such. You can have the integration by parts. First function, second function beta. Let us have this discussion now. Ahead, we have first function as it is, integral of second e raised to power minus lambda t upon minus lambda 0 to infinity. I should write, rather this way I should write, है ना बेटा? 0 to infinity minus integral of derivative of the first function integral of this secant into dt. Clear बेटे?